Today is a very special day. It's a voiceover lift, and I have a special guest with me.
The last time we did a joint voiceover video, it did millions and millions and millions of views because it was your 50.5-inch vertical video. So hopefully we even get remotely close to that level of performance again.
Today we're aiming for like 5K.
That'd be good.
Okay, so in today's lift, this was week 2. This is actually like a week ago, and the objective of the lift is, well, the objective of the whole cycle is to get my power clean up. Actually, John, you're the one who wrote the cycle.
Yeah.
What am I trying to do here?
So we were writing the cycle. I had to have a few considerations. The first is that he had a quad pull, so I had to make sure that we built in slowly. I think we started with leg extension and then moved into squats, and now we're at belt squats, relatively heavy. The initial purpose of the cycle was to transmutate the gains that we got from the last cycle, which was high volume, a lot of cross-sectional area changes, i.e. muscles are getting bigger. This one, we're trying to take that and actualize it. We're trying to see, can you now create more force with the bigger muscles that you have, not just be a bodybuilder, essentially.
Yeah.
So.
And something that we were doing during this lift was also using the VBT device to look at the peak power outputs. And we saw something interesting. I don't know if you remember that I hit way higher peak power numbers on Monday. This lift was Wednesday. I hit higher peak power numbers on Monday at the same weights, but failed. I would fail the reps. This workout, we built up to, I think it was 280 or 285, and I did the weight very easily after having failed it 2 days before, but the power numbers were down. Mm-hmm. Explain yourself.
So one thing that happens when Isaiah tends to go really, really heavy and tries to pull with a lot of intent is the bar bounces out in front. And even though we're not necessarily Olympic weightlifters, we still want to complete the lift, right? We don't necessarily just want to do pulls. There's a lot of benefits to the catch and things of that nature. But when he pulls for just peak wattage with the OVR device or time to peak velocity, or if he's measuring the bar velocity, the peak velocity of the bar, what tends to happen is he shifts his knees really far forward, and then he actually kind of hyperextends his hip, and the bar ends up bouncing out in front really far. As a result, he also emphasizes triple extension a little bit more to get, you know, that peak wattage, but the bar moves in front, and he has to reposition himself in maybe a less than ideal catch, which ends up making him miss out in front. Now, if he keeps the bar closer, isn't necessarily 100% focused just on peak power. You know, we're talking the difference of like 50 to 100 watts, which in this case is not that much. It's maybe like 1 or 2%, or maybe less, maybe 0.5%. Yeah. And, you know, he might miss the lift just because his focus is not on having the bar stay close to his body. So that's why that happens. The other thing that was interesting here was actually we measured the wattage during a snatch, power snatch, and I got up to 135. I didn't even hit 2,000 watts in peak power. But in a clean pull, I've hit, what is it, 2,500, which was pretty wild. I didn't expect it to be that different.
So does that tell you anything about, because I actually get a lot of comments asking me why I don't power snatch, which I do power snatch. Just
infrequently.
Yeah. So having seen the numbers on that, would you say that a power snatch is a better or worse exercise? Or
it's not necessarily better or worse, it's just different. You're getting a lighter bar moving relatively a greater distance, and you're still having really high power outputs. So maybe the way you could think about it is, you know, you get higher peak power, but if you were to look at the overall average wattage that you're getting, it's possible that a snatch would have a higher number because the bar's moving a greater distance over a longer interval of time. But if you're just looking for peak power, power clean's definitely going to be better. And then the other thing is the speed of...
Guy's just squatting a ton of weight.
Oh, really? Like 500 pounds?
Yeah,
there was like a bunch of super strong guys. But the other thing, too, is it biases velocity. So it's more of a speed-strength exercise instead of a strength-speed exercise. Now, the question of, like, well, can't you just get those velocities in power clean? What's the highest velo you've seen in a power clean? Do you know?
I feel like I've crossed for me, I think it's 2 point something, maybe 2.5, 2.6.
So I was hitting 3 meters per second.
On the power snatch?
Yeah. So
wow.
that's the major difference, is it's going to shift a lot more in terms of speed strength.
When I go for speed on a power clean, I struggle at the lighter weights because I feel like it'll just hit my face. Like,
That's the beauty of the snatch. You can keep accelerating the bar, right? It can move upwards further than the height of your shoulders.
Because it feels like I could get higher peak numbers at lower weights if I could. Actually, you know how it makes sense that it goes out in front of me. I think the best way would be to like do the triple extension and then throw the bar out.
Yeah, or like some people do a clean grip snatch. Have you ever seen that before?
I have actually.
Yeah, like they used to do it at Altus quite a bit with the sprinters, but it ends up being a little bit awkward because if you're not used to, a lot of people end up pressing out because the bar doesn't accelerate all the way overhead. The catch position's a little bit weird.
I want to try it.
You could. The wattages are typically very high because you're in a clean grip, but the bar has the option to travel the full distance.
I did bring my OVR today.
We could try it. You need good mobility to do it. Can you overhead squat with a narrow position though?
Well, all I would need is a half. Well, I guess I would need to be strong as hell to do a half squat.
like narrow, that would be a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
But I ended up hitting 135. Did I go high? I think I just did a double at 135, which I was pretty happy with.
Nathan actually messed up here. This is 280, guys, not 285.
Oh, now you let everyone know who the editor is. Any faults are his fault. any problems are his fault. CJ was here. We didn't even talk about this.
Yeah. CJ, if you don't know who CJ is, look up CJ Champion. His vertical, I think he's officially tested a 45. Mm-hmm. It's probably been as high as 48.
I think so,
I would guess,
There's
on
clips
his
of
best
that.
jumps. And he actually tore his Achilles 10 months ago, and he is back dunking. He did a two-hander about a week before this lift, and he was in town, and we lifted together, which was very nostalgic. Felt like the old days.
It was very reminiscent of the times, if you guys have watched the YouTube for a while back at Los Altos, or even before then. I don't know. When did you really lift with CJ prior to that? Was there a time that you did?
Yeah, we would lift together all the time.
Oh, like way back?
Infrequently, yeah, but we would lift together every now and then.
For me, it was reminiscent of Los Altos, which was just a wild time. Those videos are iconic now. Like, people during COVID, I guess, watch those religiously, and they, like, live in infamy. It's like I associate COVID with me watching Isaiah train in California.
Yeah,
Which is fun.
So now we're getting into my least favorite part of the workout, which is the squatting. This whole cycle has been brutal in terms of the difficulty of the training and the intensity. And you told me something.
Yeah, I stand by this.
You said this cycle was built. Like, I'm not supposed to be able to lift the weight. I'm built to fail.
Yeah, it's technically, theoretically, it's impossible. Reason being is when you write a given workout and you have the working sets, if you look at what your rep max is of a given weight, so let's say my max is 100 kilos, 90% of that 100 kilo max in a squat, you should only be able to do 4 reps of, right? So in this case, I gave Isaiah 2 sets of 4 at 90%. Now, a all out on a given day, to failure is 4 reps for one time. That's it. You'd be done. And then I said, you know what? Do it again. Go ahead. I want you to repeat this. Do it again. Another 4 reps. And so Isaiah, what is this the 4 rep right here? The first one?
Yep. This is the first set at 345.
So he does this, and it's an absolute murder set. I think I was like,
barely got this.
Yeah,
I almost failed
here.
here.
Yeah, right here. It just looked rough. I was like, CJ, don't you dare touch that barbell. Let him die underneath it. And so then I was like, do it again. And he does, I think, 1 rep.
Yeah.
Oh, God. It was bad. So he did 1 rep, and then I was like, all right, look, let's just make some changes. Try to just do 4 singles so you still get the volume in. So he did it correctly. I mean, he did fail, like, after 4. If he tried a 5th rep, he wouldn't have gotten it, which is good. That means that, his maxes are right on par. But any comments you had about this part?
It freaking sucked, and
I think you could have done at least a double.
The
last rep looks really easy.
I definitely mentally.
You checked out.
Yeah, I was a little P word.
Yeah, he didn't have that dog in him.
Yeah, I lost the dog, but it is nearing the end of the video. This was week 2, like I said. The whole cycle is 4 weeks. Week 3 is supposed to be even higher intensities. So we'll see how that goes. There was potentially a minor quad tweak at the session. Today is Monday, and it's going to be the actual test of
Let it be known, I don't think there was. I think what it was is a little bit of sensitivity to the area. you tried an ISO 2 days later and could push 100%, and that's not indicative of a strain. If you strained it, you would feel it if you were pushing 100%.
Yeah.
So I've had this happen with my hamstring quite a few times. Oh, you guys are also going to see my monstrous calves, hopefully, if Nathan included it.
I don't think so.
Oh, you absolute traitor. I did end up.
We do have 20 seconds.
Okay, if you guys are interested in getting coaching, go to THPstrength.com. We love what we do. We enjoy working with athletes, and we'd love to coach you guys.
Link is in the description. Oh, we do see the monstrous calves.
Oh, let's go.
Enjoy this monstrous set. Last few seconds of the video.
See you guys.
Take it easy.